That movie sucked.
I kind of liked it.
Movie Night Crew Network.
First, think of the person who lives in disguise, who deals in secrets and tells naught but lies. Next, tell me what's always the last thing to mend, the middle of middle and end of the end. And finally, give me the sound often heard during the search for a hard-to-find word. Now, string them together and answer me this. Which creature would you be unwilling to kiss? What's up, potheads? Welcome to the Restricted Section, a show in which a bunch of nerds with potty mouths reread the Harry Potter series for the umpteenth time and discuss the way that the story and its themes have stayed with a generation into adulthood. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't done the reading, don't worry, we did it for you. Here's what we're talking about today. Chapter 31, The Third Task. It is the third task. Harry's been practicing a lot, so he's feeling pretty good about it. Harry and Cedric enter the maze together first, as they're in first place. Harry meets some obstacles in the maze, but not as many as he'd expected. The Triwizard Cup is in sight, and Cedric is set to reach it first when they're attacked by a giant spider. After they defeat the spider, they have a most noble argument over who gets the cup, and in the end, they decide to share the glory in the name of Hogwarts. They grasp the cup and get whisked away, leaving the maze the same way they entered it. Together. And before you listen, I know that our audio quality has not been exactly what I would call like consistent over the years. For those of you who have been with us since the beginning, you know what I'm talking about, but this episode is not quite as excellent as I like our episodes to be. There was some rogue vacuuming happening, and I perhaps did something irrevocably weird to my audio files, so I had to use my Zoom files. So sorry about that. It's definitely not too bad, and we will be back on our bullshit next week with that regular mediocre audio. So thank you so much for your patience. Love you. Kisses. Welcome to the Restricted Section, where we have all kinds of sexy monsters for your pleasure. I'm your host, Christina. I'm not even scared in this maze right now because I have my sexy puff friend, Leela, here with me. Say hello to the listeners, Leela.
Hello, listeners.
And I am so freaking excited because our special guest today is a returning guest and good friend of the pod, Adele. Say hello to the listeners, Adele.
Hello, listeners.
I just realized that last week's guest was Adele and this week's guest is Adele.
Oh.
So don't get them confused. They are different people.
We're actually not. I also am on Hey Riddle Riddle.
If Adele sounds familiar to you, that's probably because she was also on the podcast for Prisoner of Azkaban Chapter 9, Part 1, Grim Defeat. Many moons ago. So we are so glad to have you back. How have you been in the past amount of time since we saw you last?
Yeah, I think it's been a little over a year, which is kind of crazy.
It is.
A year of craziness. I graduated from my undergrad.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I moved to Vancouver and started my grad degree.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm trying to think of some exciting things I've done.
That's all right. You don't have to if you don't want to. Those are pretty exciting things.
Yeah. I guess it's like a hello from the West Coast.
Yeah.
I see you guys are both like partaking in beverages. It's fully not even 5 yet here. So I have neglected.
It is a Wednesday, and I mean, like, no judgment, but like, sometimes I'm like, what's up, dude? I was driving down the street and I saw some guy we have like this little walk up taco stand near my house. And he was just like right at noon. He was just like a beer almost in the sidewalk outside the taco stand. And I was like, what are we doing?
We've gone too far.
He's on a journey. He was probably, I want to know where he was coming from and where he was going.
Exactly. Like, no judgment. I'm sure that it's perfectly, I've of course I've had a lunchtime beer before, but like I just need to know the story.
Yeah.
I would love to know his story.
I would love to someday sample that taco stand because I've never been there before.
Yeah. The lines are always like very long.
Or do they seem long because they don't have an inside? They only have an outside.
That could be it as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Cool. So we are here today to talk about
Talk about.
Ah!
good one.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that like video that was viral maybe like 10 fucking years ago where this guy recorded his drunk wife saying this elaborate joke about like nachos and tacos and then he like illustrated it?
And then the other chick was like, come on, let's just talk about it. And then the other chick was like, no, I'm not your friend.
I feel like I've seen what you're talking about before.
No.
Okay, it's like the cutest thing I've ever seen. I will put it in the show notes.
That sounds like something I would do when drunk.
Yes, yep. I love people who love their drunk spouses. As someone who is often the drunk spouse. But we're here to talk about chapter 31 of Goblet of Fire, The Third Task, aka the last fun chapter in this book before everything gets ruined.
Yeah. It's kind of like this is the pinnacle moment before everything changes. And it's like,
Yeah,
ah.
I was screaming as I finished reading this chapter today. I was just in my room by myself, just like, fuck!
Especially that like
fuck!
the way it ends too. I don't know.
I know. I know.
So many feelings.
This chapter and the next chapter in my head, like when I think about this book, I think of them as the same chapter because I think they're both so memorable. Like when I think of like what's the most memorable thing that probably stuck in my head as a kid from Goblet of Fire, obviously the last chapter, but like I think it was this too because all of the near death experiences that happen in here and like the cool magic. Well, we'll get into it. Let's get into it.
I forgot about some of those experiences too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I have such a movie memory.
Exactly. The movie just totally doesn't do anything with this chapter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this chapter starts with Harry, Ron, and Hermione chit-chatting about the whole last chapter, which was like
Classic.
a very cool way to deliver some exposition. Okay. But they're like, what's up with that? And then we get a little like, it's June now montage.
Yay.
They're like training Harry up for the third task. Quote, tired of walking in on Harry, Hermione, and Ron all over the school, unquote. McGonagall gives them permission to use her classroom.
Because she's a real one. She's amazing.
She is a real one. But like, I don't know, man. They should just have better study spaces. Brooke brought this up recently that like Hogwarts doesn't have like practical magic, like a gymnasium.
Yeah.
With like mats. They have to like sneak about.
Don't they do that in the Empty Charms classroom when Harry's practicing for the first task?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was even I think that was even like maybe like last chapter or the chapter before they were practicing for this task.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Because I remember because Ron's like, maybe we should stop doing the stupefy charm because I keep missing the cushions.
Oh,
and Hermione's
that's
like,
what it was.
You dumb idiot. Why are you missing the cushions? Just fall straight.
just fall properly. Ron, goddammit. Wait, they could use the room of requirement, but it's not.
They don't know about it yet.
Yeah.
We've only heard about it once we learned about it technically in this book because we got the story from Dumbledore about the chamber pots, which I love that so much.
Which was added for what reason? For why?
I think it's just like to characterize Dumbledore. Like he's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
I love him.
Not in any way practical, but we've talked about the chamber pots. It's fine.
Right, yes. Give me a flushing toilet any day of the week.
Just one.
So one day when they're practicing or whatever, they see Malfoy out the window and he's like talking into a cupped hand. And they're like, that looks like, like a fucking walkie-talkie or like a police radio. But Hermione's like, that's impossible. Moving on.
Haven't any of you read Hogwarts: A History?
My guy friends in college used to have this really funny bit, like a walkie-talkie bit, where we'd all be sitting in a room, like smoking weed, watching a movie or whatever, and they'd be like, and they would like do it back and forth, and it was like always impossible to figure out if they were like actually saying something or if it was just nonsense. And I wish I was better at it because they made me laugh a lot, but I'm not. So as Harry practices for the third task, he starts getting more confident. He was like, I actually feel pretty good about this. And that's how you know that it's not going to end well.
Oh. Well, to be fair, if it was just the third task, he would have...
He does a good job.
Yeah, he'd be fine. He'd be good. And it's kind of cool to be like, we finally see him actually like really being good at Defense of the Dark Arts. Because like we know like that's like his kind of his specialty, obviously. But for the first 3 books, he kind of like got off because of like luck or circumstance. But like he's actually like honing his skills. He's like learning new spells. He's like actually good at them.
Yeah. I think that the only thing he's ever, besides the fucking Expelliarmus, I think he only has really done before now like the Patronus charm.
Yeah.
And like that was out of necessity so that he wouldn't be fainting left and right.
Yeah.
Adele, you may vividly remember that he faints a lot in that one because we played that drinking game and I got absolutely shit-faced.
Yes, when we have the 4th movie watch along with the Discord, which you can join if you become a Patreon or patron.
For as little as $1 a month. Link in the show notes.
I will be once again playing the Harry Potter fall count drinking game. Take a shot every time he falls. And I think since there are 3 tasks, like I think the shot count will be pretty high.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about like what makes a fall. Yeah. When he falls off his broom onto the roof, is that a fall or does he have to hit the ground? We'll talk about it.
Yeah, and also like, must it be shots? Like, could we do it just as take a drink? Like
take a drink. Yeah, take a drink.
Like take a shot.
You're actually not allowed to take shots every time he falls in my house, okay? Because I'm not trying to deal with it.
Last time we clocked in at like 11 or 12. So...
It was a lot. It was pretty serious. And yeah, actually, I literally already have it scheduled. I know it's a little ahead of time, but we are doing, we're scheduled to do our Goblet of Fire watch along. We do that on our Discord server. We're doing that Friday the 13th, May 13th. So you have about a month and a half to join up if you are interested in being part of that. It's super fun. Very chaotic. You know the drill. So Harry wakes up the morning of the third task. And he's like, I'm feeling pretty good about this.
What could go wrong?
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, just you wait and see, Harry. The mail brings another like god-awful Rita fucking Skeeter article called Harry Potter, Disturbed and Dangerous, which is like a very, I mean, let's like briefly talk about.
Let's just talk about it.
How deeply inappropriate it is to publish something publicly about a minor, accusing him of having like mental problems, you know?
Yeah. It's a little weird.
What? Is someone vacuuming?
Yes, my super is literally vacuuming right now. Oh.
That's okay.
I was confused though. I thought it was someone scratching at my door.
You're like, do I have a cat?
No, I wish. Surprise.
Yeah, so this article is talking about how Harry regularly collapses at school, which is not wrong.
Yeah,
and but it's like inappropriate. And his scar pains him, and like it's just,
they're like,
I mean,
gaslighting him. They're like, does it even? Oh, does it hurt, Harry? Oh, is it real?
Yeah. And they have like quotes and stuff from like
Malfoy.
Malfoy, and also like an unnamed like guy who works in like
St. Mungo's.
There's St. Mungo's, and then there's also like a wizard's law.
Oh yeah, from the ministry.
It says there's one that says he might even be pretending. Said one specialist. What does that mean?
In what?
Yeah.
And if they don't want to be named, that means they're, first of all, they're probably quacks or they're not real.
In the back of my head, I can just hear Sam being like, and this is unethical journalism because XYZ.
Yes, exactly.
I think about Sam every time Rita Skeeter does something terrible.
But also, he's like straight at 14. If the news, I'm trying to think of like an instance now where the news talks about a 14-year-old like that.
No.
You're not allowed to.
Yeah.
The internet would never let you. This would be like if like fucking like some journalist just published something about like Greta how do you
Greta. Our girl Greta. Yeah.
Our girl Greta. I think it's like Tornberg or something like that. Right. It's not like Thorenberg, which is how it's spelled. That's all I remember. But it would be like someone publishing something about her being like, is she delusional? Like blah, 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 blah. And like the internet would rise up to protect her as like a minor and someone who's trying their best and like doing good. Not that Harry should be compared with our girl Greta, but you know, that's like the same level of like they're minors and they're like so famous.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I guess I was thinking of what she wasn't a minor, never mind. I was thinking of like the whole Amanda Cox thing that happened. You guys know about that? She was actually, now that I think she was like a freshman in college, so maybe she was 18 or 19, whatever, but
comparable.
She went on like a trip to Italy for school or for an internship or something like that in a tiny little small town in Italy. And she had a roommate, like a British it was an American girl. She had a British roommate and they were friends and they definitely like partied and got into all kinds of trouble. But she was very pretty. They talked about that all the time. And basically what happened was her roommate was found like savagely murdered in their like little villa, that their tiny little apartment that they were sharing.
Oh my God.
And her behavior, like when right after she found out, they were so mean about it because she was like 19 and her roommate just died. She was like doing cartwheels. Like at one point somebody filmed her doing cartwheels. They're like, suspicious behavior. I think you did it. And then like she ended up getting wrongly accused by the incompetent Italian police system. And in this tiny town, and like for 2 years was imprisoned in Italy.
Holy shit, that's a nightmare because I don't think anyone can say how someone else is going to react in this, or even how you're going to react in a situation like that. They talk about that all the time on like some of the like murder mystery podcasts I've listened to about how like this guy looks guilty because he responds like this. Mm-hmm. There was that one guy who was like, before you take me to jail, can you take me to Burger King? That was a little suspicious, but
maybe he just had a craving.
Cartwheeling is like not that far off from like laughing hysterically or something. It's like this nervous energy. You have to just like get it out. Like, have you ever laughed hysterically when something terrible is happening? Because I sure
frequently like laugh if something bad has happened. I like my body response is to find it humorous, and then I laugh, and then people are like, "You're not being serious," and I'm like, "I'm literally trying to be serious," but like laughing at the same time. It's a little problematic. Or maybe I'm a killer. I'm just kidding. When I tell you I did just read giggling. God Girl, so like it is at the forefront of my mind.
Murder. All right, well, we'll be looking into that. Why are they cleaning the apartments behind you? What are they cleaning up? Just kidding. We're doing exactly what Rita Skeeter's doing, guys.
Yeah.
So Rita Skeeter claims to have witnessed Harry's like divination fit, for want of like a better word, when he like passed out in divination and was like rolling around on the floor having a bad dream. Malfoy is quoted talking about how Harry's a Parselmouth. Obviously, don't interview his bully, but I think that Draco is probably like the only student maybe who like knows that she is an animagus at this point. At least the only one that we know that he knows.
He's in on it somehow. Yeah.
He like, what is he getting out of it aside from like seeing Harry?
I think just like sadistic pleasure.
That's cray.
Because like surely there would be other students at the school who would be really willing to talk to like a journalist about like the Triwizard Tournament and about Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's not looking for like those perspectives, maybe.
Ethical journalism?
Because she's a bad journalist. They're like, how did she see divination? Like, I was up in the North Tower. And then Harry's like, Hermione, you're supposed to be researching magical methods of bugging. And then Hermione, I love this moment so much, she visibly has a brain blast. Yes. You can see Eureka. The brain blast happening. Yeah. She's like, library, and like runs away.
Remember last time she did that? She got like petrified.
Oh my God, Hermione.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm
always a little worried for her whenever she has a eureka moment and then says she has to go to the library. I'm always like, check the corners, like don't run, like don't trip.
Because as soon as she has a eureka moment, you have to like separate her from Harry because he needs to do the rest of the book on his own or whatever, which they do. They do separate her. They're like, go away, Harry, take this poor kid to this other land and have your life ruined.
Yeah.
At breakfast, McGonagall comes over and is like, Harry, get your little butt in here. It's family day. You got family to see. And Harry's like, yikes, I will not be entering that room, actually.
Yeah.
He takes his time with his breakfast. I mean, McGonagall's, I feel like she underserves Harry at a couple points in this book series where obviously she should have said, oh, the Weasleys have come, so you should also come. This is not like a scary situation. Your abusers aren't here, and you're not going to be embarrassed by having nobody. There's actually a friendly face for you to come see. But she doesn't. She's just like, get your ass in here.
She gives him too much credit, I think, for like critical thinking.
Yeah, that's maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know why she wasn't like, it's like family time. The Weasleys are here. Don't be disrespectful. Go see them.
I also really got upset with her when she was like, oh, by the way, Harry, you have to get a date and you guys have to dance. Fucking deal with it. Bye. And it's like, oh my God, McGonagall, give him any advice. This is a lot for him.
I think she probably found that kind of funny, though. I think she found it funny. All right.
That's probably funny, but this is not funny to me because family. He's like, I'm embarrassed. And then Cedric comes and is like, they're waiting for you.
Which is so cute.
Every single thing that Cedric does in this whole chapter, I was like sobbing.
I was like, I just drew a heart, so many hearts.
It's the last complete chapter that we see him alive, guys. It's the last complete one.
I'm bringing two of the snarkiest people I know on for next week's episode because I was like, I really need the banter to be high in this chapter. We really need some funny guys on this one. So hopefully the next couple chapters are going to be cool.
Okay.
Hopefully we're going to get through it okay.
We can make this one slightly more emotional.
Yes. Let's just appreciate what we have while we have it. And right now, what we have is Cedric being shut up.
Cedric's being a wonderful like golden retriever, sticking his head out and be like, Harry, what are you doing? Your family's here, which is very cute, especially since he knew that like obviously the Weasleys are not like Harry's parents.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the Harry Cedric Weasley dynamic that we see later on a little bit too with like with his dad and stuff. I find that really interesting. Yeah. Especially since we saw them all together at the beginning of the book.
I think it also really helps make the reader more sympathetic to Cedric too, because it is clear that he has so much pressure on him.
Make him a three-dimensional character.
Yeah. Well, I think she sort of tries, but way too, literally like way too late.
Oh, you mean the chapter before his
yes.
demise?
Yes, that's what I meant. Because we love everything we read about him. They don't tell us anything about any other Hufflepuffs or really that much about any other houses other than, Gryffindor, Slytherin. And so I wish that we had, it would have been even more heartbreaking, but it would have been better because if we had just kind of like grown up with him a little bit more. Like I know he's like mentioned once, but that's not.
Voldemort like didn't need him until this book. She's like, I need a sacrifice.
Well, that's bad writing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But that's how these whole books are constructed. Yeah. It's like, I need this.
Well, he's like the sacrifice because he's such a golden boy.
Yeah.
Doesn't Dumbledore call him a martyr at some point?
Martyr?
No,
martyr?
Martyr.
Yeah, I was like, I'll call him a murder.
That
was a murder. A martyr, yeah, probably.
Martyr,
I think he has like a pretty inflammatory speech at the end of this book.
Yeah, but like he's the perfect person for like, I guess you guys, I mean like the whole, loss of innocence. This is like the last chapter before that happens. So he's the perfect person. If it was just like, oh yeah, like Jimmy J from like Ravenclaw who like cheats on his tests, like
J Finch from fucking Hufflepuff.
Voldemort murdered him.
I know it has to be well, and I think that a really important part of it is like the back and forth that Cedric and Harry have had this whole book also really like adds to the dynamic. Like they have both just been like solid to each other, and that
just
makes
bros being bros.
Just bros being bros. And I do think that if they had like overcome this whole thing together that next year maybe, oh, he's graduating. But like, I think that they could have become friends.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
yeah.
they had like endured this together and like had that
Friends, or maybe
relief and like the
more.
glory together. Oh, Cedric's too old for him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, no. Whoops. Well, no.
It's quite all right. It's quite all right.
It's fine. When I was 15, I dated like a senior in high school. That's like 15, 18, you know. Is that creepy to me now?
There's also Crumb and Hermione just as
That's
well.
true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also feel like Harry and Cedric bonded so much because out of just like kind of both being like clear, it seems to me like Cedric's also an introvert that was just kind of thrust into this like situation. Like maybe he's like a little bit more of a confident person, or because he's older and has had time to like come into himself a little more. That doesn't mean he's like less awkward. Like he's awkward, and I think he'd rather not have to like make tough decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Or be the center of attention.
Yeah, but he's doing this for Hufflepuff, and like I think the last person he's doing this for is himself.
I agree.
He's doing it for his dad.
His dad, yeah.
Definitely his dad.
Which is different
For
than Harry.
other
but-
people's glory, yeah.
But we don't know about Cedric and like his family enough to like know if he has any siblings, but I kind of get only child vibes. I
Me
get
too.
like only child, like golden boy.
Yeah. Okay, he definitely doesn't have brothers because that's my boy, singular, not one of.
Can you
That's my
imagine?
son.
That's one of my sons. Ned Stark.
Arthur Weasley.
That's my middle child.
That's my youngest.
That's the one I'm not even sure if it's mine.
That's the one who's annoying but funny. Yeah, I think Cedric gives off big only children energy.
Yeah.
Only child energy. Yeah, he definitely appears to carry the pressure of like all of the expectations.
He also appears to be more mature than his father with his with this whole like weird vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, we should talk about that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I had
Okay.
some
So
notes.
Harry goes into like this weird side room of the Great Hall that was just invented for this book so that they can do bullshit like this in it. And Mrs. Weasley and Bill are there. And I have like 17 exclamation points because like how fucking beautiful. Like so nice.
I love found family so much.
And Harry's dumbass notes somehow that Fleur is eyeing Bill with great interest.
Yeah, how would
And
you
so
know
it
that
begins.
if you weren't eyeing Bill with interest, Harry?
Yeah.
Okay, we were all eyeing Bill with interest. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would probably eye him with interest too, just for like the dragon skin boots.
He's very cool and like he's acting very cool. He's like, oh yeah, I used to get into some shit when I was here. Is that motherfucker, that crazy knight still here?
It's
Like he's being
so
cool.
much returning senior or like returning graduated. Like, oh yeah, like, oh, I used to like smoke in this courtyard like with all my friends. And I'm like, you graduated like
Last
not
year.
even that long. Yeah, last year.
And Molly Weasley is like, oh my God, like one time whoever I kind of forget caught me coming in at 4 a.m. And Bill's like, what the fuck were you doing out at 4 a.m.? And she's like, well, you know, I did meet your dad here. So
We all know what they were doing.
they were boinking.
Yeah. Although what
They were making Bill. Sorry.
Oh God.
And that's
Oh,
how
no.
bills get made.
Sorry, I just read a book with teenage pregnancy in it. It's on my mind.
Maybe that's why he's so cool, because he was conceived at Hogwarts.
He's too cool for school because he was conceived in school.
In the school. Yeah, in the school.
So Bill and Mrs. Weasley very cutely ask for a tour, like, you know, like they don't know, but they're like, let's walk around, show us around.
There's stuff that they don't know, though.
Yeah, like the
Whomping
Whomping
Willow.
Willow and stuff.
Although-
Yeah.
Mrs. Weasley's like, oh, the Whomping Willow. And I'm like, do you not remember that the whole car incident? And she's like, oh, like, look at this tree. I'm like,
I've never heard of this before in my life. So on their way out of this like weird side room, yeah, Amos Diggory is like, I didn't write the quote because it made me sad, but he's basically like, oh, well, you feel like a tough guy now, Harry. I bet you don't, because Cedric's better, basically.
And Harry's
Yeah,
literally
points.
like, it says, what? Said Harry.
oh, Harry. He like doesn't understand that people would be like trying to like pit them like an adult figure would be like talking to him like that, you know?
Well, Harry has always had this trouble with like, are they good or are they evil? There's like not usually like just someone shitty, you know, like, are they good or are they evil? And that's why like Snape is evil, because he's like mean to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it is hard for him to like imagine. This is just so foreign to like any family experience that he has been part of. This the way that Amos Diggory acts about his son.
Yeah.
Cedric's like, don't even worry. He's just mad about that article where Rita Skeeter made it seem like you were the only Hogwarts champion. And then Amos Diggory is like, yeah, but he didn't bother to correct her, did he? And I'm like, you think Harry has connections at the Daily Prophet to like publish a rebuttal?
Right.
Like, what are you expecting?
What kind of power do you think this child has?
Yeah. This poor kid, dude. Just protect all children always. How about, let's start there.
Yeah.
Amos.
I like this plan.
So they walk around the grounds and they're just like, yeah, Whomping Willow, whoa. And they're just like strolling about. I don't know, man. I just feel like I would get bored. I don't know. Is there that much grounds and like that many things to look at?
I think what Mrs. Weasley and Bill are trying to do is just like support Harry by like quality time. Because
maybe a little bit of distraction.
Yeah, a little bit of distraction. Like he feels confident for the task, but like I'm sure he's also still nervous. So I think it's just like, let's distract you and like quality time and like be there for you, you know?
Harry's just kind of a nervous person. And, you know, even if he's feeling confident, like nerves are still totally a thing, even if you're confident. And I think I've mentioned this before, but like I've been doing this podcast for like 2 years and I still, every time I sit down to record, I still get like mild butterflies because I'm just like, oh, how's it gonna go?
It's just because you're so excited to record with people as cool as us. Am I right?
I think that's literally it, because literally at dinner I was like, tee, I'm getting nervous, but it's like it's Leila and Adele. Like, why the fuck would I be nervous?
Oh, you should be nervous. You should be nervous, Christina.
Yeah, we're not gonna like just like throw improv scenes at you. That's like-
We're actually gonna break out into song and dance. And if you don't know the words to the song we composed before this, if you don't know the words, you're fired.
When Adele just like started doing some light improv with Grace, I could just hear the sheer panic in her voice, and I was like, oh no, Grace, oh no. At one point she was just like, Tina, take it from here.
Yeah.
I love that scene so much, and I made Sean listen to it. I was like, Sean, listen to Grace. She's never done improv in her life.
I love improv.
But she's just like a yes and friend, you know? Like,
yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm along for the ride. I'm uncomfortable, but I'm here. You know?
She's like, yikes. I'm saying yikes because that's what I'm like on elevators. So after they walk around the grounds, they go back up to the castle for lunch, and Ron is like, what the fuck are you guys doing here?
They didn't even invite Ron.
Oh yeah.
Ron is doing exams now or whatever.
Oh, he did his history of magic exam.
Yeah. Okay, Ron and Jenny are in exams, and that's why they can't. And Fred and George.
But here's the thing. I know Molly Weasley's a busy woman, but she's kind of not, because she has no children at home right now.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, she doesn't have a job. So I don't think she's that busy. And if I had 7 kids and I knew one of them had a self-esteem problem and was super jealous of his best friend, I would write him a letter and be like, hey, Ron, I just want to let you know, we're going to come visit Harry for family day. It's our little secret. Don't tell him, but like, I'll see you then. Because that's how you make people feel included, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But Ron would tell Harry.
Yeah.
Ron can't keep a secret.
Yeah, you're right.
You really think Ron can keep a secret?
I don't know. I don't know if he's ever been tested.
Yeah, no one's ever cared about him enough to give him a secret.
No one's ever given him a secret.
I was more thinking like when he gets Harry like Christmas gifts and stuff, he doesn't tell him beforehand.
That's like a huge pet peeve I have that you see on sitcoms all the time. It actually happens in Parks and Rec like 1,000 times, where a character will hand another character a wrapped present and be like, "Oh, it's an iPad," or like whatever. I think it was an iPod, and it's like, why did you wrap it if you're gonna like announce what it is when you hand it to them? This is so dumb. Whatever.
If someone actually did that to me in real life, I would go bonkers. I love like a surprise gift. I love like the mystery of unwrapping. I love like a gift that's shaped like a different gift, or like a gift with a clue. I love everything about that.
I vividly remember a bit in Family Guy where Brian has a gift that clearly looks like a bottle, like a liquor bottle. And he's like, wonder what this is. And then he unwraps it and it turns into the shape of a book. It's like a nonsense bit. And he's like, oh.
I love that.
So at lunch, Mrs. Weasley, and here's something else that I hate, is really shitty to Hermione for a second. And Harry's like, hey, Mrs. Weasley, you know how Hermione and I stayed at your house for 2 weeks and never got caught making out anywhere? She's actually not my girlfriend. And like, good for Harry, because he pretty much never speaks up ever. But he spoke up to defend Hermione, and I'm proud of him.
Yeah. I'm proud of him in this moment too. Like really proud. Like for once he actually like is like, oh, like my friend who is a girl like is being treated like shitty.
Like a slut.
Yeah. And like not only is he standing up, it's one thing if like Snape is treating Hermione shitty and like the boys are like, wait, what the heck? But like he's standing up to his like pseudo mother. And he's
it takes a great deal of what? Of
courage.
Bravery, of courage to stand up to your enemies, but a great deal more to stand up to Mrs.
your
Weasley.
mother.
Oh my God, yeah. Especially like this is Mrs. Weasley who like sent the howler, like has screamed at like all of the boys. Like Harry was probably shaking in his boots when he was like, hey, Mrs. Weasley, you know that Hermione and I.
On the flip side, I feel like Harry's like, I know I'm her favorite.
True.
She's never been mad at me before. She gets mad at everybody else.
Yeah, she
has
Yeah.
it.
I don't think, does she ever get mad at him?
Nope, I don't think so. Not like really. Maybe about like there's like some fighting in the next book about like if he's old enough to like be in the order and stuff, but that's not the same.
Wow.
Nope. She loves him best out of all her kids.
Wow.
When I was younger, in college, I dated this guy who was, everyone dates a drug dealer at some point in their lives. And some of us do it. And, he was like a really good guy. He just like got into bad stuff or whatever. And him and his siblings were both like really awful to their mom. And it was like very fucked up, whatever, college. And like one time, him and his mom, I was like watching and they got into like a screaming fight, right in front of me. My boyfriend and his mom. Oof. And he was like, blah, 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 blah. Just because you hate all your kids doesn't mean blah, blah, blah. And she said, that is not true. I love Christina.
Oh my God.
this bitch had 5 kids. And I was like, guess she loves me.
That's a good like potential mother-in-law right there.
So after they clear the air with Hermione or whatever, they just stroll around and then they do a feast.
What's a Cornish pasty again?
Is it like?
I mean,
a Cornish hen is a thing.
So is like, it? Oh, maybe it's chicken.
I'm thinking like a chicken pot pie. No,
it is. It's beef.
Oh,
potato. Turnip.
Oh.
Like it's basically like an empanada.
Oh,
okay. English empanada.
Okay.
Like a little it is actually a straight up empanada.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love
like
a little overdone
stages of interest, but I think I'm sold.
You're like the kombucha girl meme.
Oh my God, Brittany Broski.
Is that who that is?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I just know her as the kombucha girl meme.
Love her. Nice.
Okay, my next note, they're walking down to the Quidditch pitch to do the third task. My next note is, oh, Cedric, no, don't go.
Oh, can I say one thing about the feast?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it says that when they're like feasting, Harry like looks up at like the top table and he notices that Madame Maxine's eyes are red and she's like very like withdrawn because
he's being weirdly astute in this chapter.
Yeah, for one, Harry actually being observant about other people's feelings.
His senses are so escalated right now.
Yeah, and then just like the fact that, like, I think, Fudge is trying to say that she attacked Mr. Crouch. And just like the fact that he noticed that, I don't know, and that's in there. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what was going on there because it also mentioned that Hagrid kept looking at her. So I think there's like 2 interpretations. I think one interpretation is that Hagrid and Madame Maxime had like a fight because they've been fighting.
Yeah.
Or that,
or both.
Fudge is being, almost called him Crudge, and I think that's more appropriate.
I think from now on, we should start calling him Crudge.
Well, the next time we see him, he's really bad, and he does not get better in this book
He's
series.
useless.
Yeah, he is he's worse than useless. He's like a brick wall in the way of doing the right thing.
Bureaucracy.
Yeah. So yeah, the other interpretation is that he is perhaps being shitty to her, being like just saying all the passive aggressive racist things that we don't need to speculate about.
No. It's already been covered, but like she's really going through it. And she's probably worried about Fleur as well. Because like
I was just about to say Fleur's probably like, Madame Maxime, I'm so nervous. And Maxime's like, honestly, bitch, I have some real life shit going on right now.
And like Fleur's like the lowest of the champions too. She's probably like, my French pride is like,
I know. I really hate that because she's the only girl and she's like performing the poorest and it just like pisses me off.
Yeah.
It pisses me off that they made her look like untough when she like backed out. Like,
and like
Fleur and Harry both got attacked by Grindylows and Grindylows.
The Grindylows. Oh wait, that was like kind of Russian.
Yeah, I loved it.
Hot. Whatever it was good.
Do it again.
But like Fleur quit and like Harry braved on, and I just like I hate everything they do to her character in this book. She becomes much cooler later, but like
at least we know that like as much as Voldemort like hates women, like Fleur does get like a little bit of an arc where it has some agency by the end, especially with like Bill in like the 7th book. Or the 6th
It's
book.
really just like the wedding thing, because honestly in the end she kind of ends up just being some dude's wife, but she has her moment to shine.
I think what would have been better would be if they had made them like the places in the tournament, like if Victor and Fleur were reversed, because
even that little amount.
Because especially like imagine like Victor, like he's like the one everyone expects to win because he's this like athletic, famous sports high schooler. But so like he would have had some real vengeance and like maybe like a little bit like we could have suspected like maybe he did do the Crucio curse, you know?
Oh yeah, because he's like desperate to win.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been a good angle.
Or on the flip side, it would have really driven home our suspicion that he hasn't wanted to be part of this all along. And he like really just likes the Quidditch thing and like doesn't really want the spotlight in this way, which we've speculated about before. So I think you're right, Leela. That would have been a really easy way to make it just a little bit better for everyone.
Yeah, I agree with
that.
But
whatever. It's just drag Fleur. So they go down to the Quidditch pitch, which is a 20-foot tall hedge maze now.
Wait. What? So one question I had, I don't understand how that big of a maze and like a maze long enough, like a big enough maze for this task would fit like in the Quidditch pitch. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's bigger once you enter it, like the TARDIS.
That's what I figured.
Sorry, I should have said bigger on the inside if I was going to bring up the TARDIS. That was weird of me.
Because I have such a movie memory. Like that maze is huge. If you think about it, right? But like this one, they're like, oh, it's in the Quidditch pitch. And I'm like, the Quidditch pitch is probably like smaller than like, let's say it's like an American football field.
That's like a hay maze, and
that's still not very big.
Give me a second. I'm doing like how many acres is
okay? Thank God you're doing the math, because like
okay, so I've done a couple. I literally just Googled hedge mazes near me to try to activate my memory about which hedge. I've done a couple. So I've done the garden maze at Luray Caverns. Leela, have you ever done that one?
No.
So I've done that one, and that one is 1 acre. And it was big enough to be confusing, but not big enough that there's a picture of this bitch. She's looking confused as hell. She's like, whoa.
But what about monsters? Could it fit monsters?
I think it would have to be at least like 2 or 3 times this big to really feel threatening and to like isolate people. So let me look up the other maze that I do. The Liberty Farms. And if you're anywhere near me, the Liberty Farms maze, it's a corn maze that they do in the fall. And it's so fucking fun. They actually have like 6 different mazes because it's like a giant farm. And that's one you can get fucking lost in. Like, so let me see if it says how many acres this is. Just like we're getting some maze context, you know?
That's amazing, Christina.
So it says that it's 32 acres, but 4 separate. So that's about 8 acres.
Okay.
And a football field is 1.3 acres. So I would say that you would need at least 3 football fields, which I don't know how big that is compared to a Quidditch pitch, but I am with you. I don't think necessarily, I think magic might have to be involved.
Yeah.
But then, well, whatever. Magic, question mark, shrug.
Yeah. Oh, so some more like unexplained magic. Yeah. Just because I was thinking, I was like, that's kind of small. And like, it has to be big enough to fit. Like, there's quite a lot of stuff in there. And like, we don't even see everything that's in there. Like, we only see what Harry encounters.
Which is a lot less than what other people are supposedly encountering.
Well,
because Barty Crouch is like blasting him out of the way.
Yeah.
So Ludo Bagman begins his. Was it funny that I said blasting? What was the
I don't know.
It was just the image.
Just like, yeah, of him walking around, just absolutely, just I don't even know, like smacking things out of the way with his like
just like
wooden leg.
Ludo Bagman begins the commentary. They get to enter the maze in order of like how they're ranking so far from their previous tasks. So Cedric and Harry get to enter first together, then Victor Crumb, then Fleur Delacour. So pretty much without preamble, Bagman blows his whistle and Harry and Cedric enter the maze together. Keeping it cool, I'm keeping it together. Just don't go. Okay. Oh God, please. Okay.
The last time everyone sees Cedric Diggory alive and well.
I'm sobbing. Okay. I'm laughing because it's terrible. This is what we do.
I will just be bringing up Cedric's demise constantly, so we can really. Okay. I just really think it's important that we feel the feelings, you know.
Yes, and like 3 chapters ago, I was like, I think we need to start joking about his death now, so it doesn't catch us off guard when it comes.
Yeah.
So let's just really lean into it. The hedges sort of instantly mute all the outside noise, like more evidence that this is a magical hedge.
It's very spooky.
It reminds me of like The Shining.
Yes,
just like
I was literally just thinking of The Shining maze.
You're in a maze that is like in nowhere. Like there's nothing outside the maze.
Yeah.
Or like the Maze Runner. Let's think of all the mazes.
Well, okay, those 3 mazes ranked: Harry Potter maze, Maze Runner, or Shining maze.
Were we talking about this at all? But we didn't include the Shining maze.
No, I think we talked about the maze from like Greek mythology instead.
Oh, the labyrinth. Okay.
But,
maybe I'm gonna slap a Twitter poll up about which maze you would like. Which maze would you most like to be trapped in?
Which maze is the most amazing?
Amazing. Out of those mazes, I would probably I maybe the labyrinth, because at least you would find cool stuff. And like, I mean, I'm going off Percy Jackson labyrinth rules, which means that you could just pop up any old place. It connects like New York to like LA and like it's a nonsense maze. Which maze would you pick, Adele? Which is the most amazing?
Definitely not the Maze Runner maze. Definitely
no, fuck that. That's so scary and terrible.
I know. I think that's probably the most horrifying out of them, all of them.
But when we chatted about this a couple of weeks ago, I said that maze because I said I would just live in the glade and never leave.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't be well, I guess you're still in the maze.
It's not really appreciating the maze for what it is. So what's your answer?
Probably the Shining maze.
Why?
Actually, no, because I just remember that it's snowing in the Shining maze. Because I was like, well, I could escape a murderer. Like, I'm confident that I could escape like a man with an axe in a maze.
Okay, well, that little boy did it, so I hope you
if Danny, yeah, but then add in. You haven't seen me run. It's not very fast. But add in the fact that like it's also winter and there's cold. I'm gonna go with the Shining maze because like it's just one guy with an axe.
Yeah.
When in doubt, I was gonna say like crawl over the hedge, but I don't really think that works. That's my answer.
Leela, which maze is the most amazing?
I'm not equipped for a maze.
But you gotta pick. Sorry.
I haven't seen the Maze Runner, but the commercials looked very stressful, so I'm not gonna pick that one.
Yeah. I recommend against it.
I'm sure it's just like Hunger Games, type stuff.
Yeah, there's like spikes on the walls. And like
scary
like goopy,
robot monsters.
Goopy, but they're like goopy robots.
Not my thing.
I
don't love goopy things, so
if you don't like goopy things, I would stay away from the Maze Runner.
Shout out to our friend Claire.
I know. I was just thinking about Claire. Hi, Claire.
I'm not fast enough or like brave enough to outrun a murderer. and I am no wizard or witch. I guess I would die fastest in the Harry Potter maze.
So that's the one you pick?
Yeah.
Because you're going to die no matter what?
Sure. Yep.
I don't know the Shining maze. I feel like there's more than just Jack Nicholson in that maze.
Is there?
You know what I mean?
I think it's just him.
But like the whole place feels like haunted and scary. So like I think I would get really spooked regardless.
Oh, see, I like love ghosts. Like my dream is to have like a ghost encounter, like a not just paranormal, but like some sort of like, I don't know, like sexy ghost encounter or something.
Okay,
but,
like Ghost, like from the movie Ghost.
Not exactly like that. I know what you're
similar.
referencing though. I don't have sex with a ghost. I just want to have like some sort of like spooky encounter.
I feel you.
Yeah.
There's a movie called The Spirit of Christmas that the only person, I don't remember who was there when we watched it, but it's a triple entendre because it's like a Christmas ghost who is also like a bootlegger. When he was alive, he was like a bootlegger. So, and it's like about the spirit of Christmas. So it's like a triple entendre.
What is this, Hallmark?
Sure. Yeah, probably.
But is he sexy though? Is he a sexy ghost?
He was probably pretty sexy.
Okay.
Where are all the ghosts dudes? The dude was a ghost in Ghost? The dude was a ghost
Where
in the
have
Spirit of
all the
Christmas?
ghost men gone and where
Heck yes.
are all the ghosts?
Like the ghost lady from Harry Potter. What?
Moaning
Smash.
Myrtle?
Smash. No. Oh my God. Not Moaning Myrtle. No, you just captured me saying Smash to Moaning Myrtle. No, I meant it.
Helena. It's Helena.
Madeline Bundy.
Smash.
Helena the Grey Lady.
Smash. Moaning Myrtle pass.
Wow.
To clarify. Clarify.
Everyone
Okay.
always passes on Moaning Myrtle.
And we haven't even gotten to the Sphinx yet, so.
That's a whole thing.
Okay, let's get there.
Yeah,
Okay, so Harry and Cedric soon reach a fork and they part ways. Bye. Harry has this cute little spell that he does that is called it's like a point. He says point me and it does a little compass.
Isn't it called like the 4-way charm or something?
Yeah.
The 4-way charm.
No, never
Wink.
mind.
No, 4 points charm, I think.
Point me, baby. Wink. It's also in English. That weird?
Yeah.
All the spells are Latin or like sometimes Greek. But this one is, he's like, point me.
You know, she just like made that up for this chapter on the fly
Yeah.
because it's never mentioned again.
Yeah.
I get it. You have to give Harry a reason to like go to choose directions because otherwise he would have such a hard time picking. He would get so lost.
I would just spin around in a circle and just like see what happens. Actually, no, that's a terrible idea. Wait. In mazes, you're supposed to put your left hand on one of the walls and just follow it.
Oh.
That's the problem because that is how I solve mazes like the fucking Luray Caverns maze I mentioned above. That
Yeah.
is how you technically solve a maze. But you also have to think about the fact that you're trying to beat other people. So that could take a really long time. If you're like, because that involves going down all of the dead ends and stuff.
True. Okay.
So yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I don't know which would be more effective. Just like doing the left hand method and like fucking sprinting at top speed or like trying your best, getting turned around, not being sure if you're like doubling back or whatever.
Yeah. His strategy's pretty good, actually. Like he's like,
Well, that's because he has like a weird magic compass for no reason.
Yeah.
He's trying to go like northwest or whatever.
Mhm.
We hear the 2 other whistles. The other champions enter the maze. And these are our final moments of pure childhood before everything goes completely sideways.
Just gallivanting around in a maze with 3 of my besties. What could go wrong?
Yeah, this is so fun.
In a death match to get a goblet. That is definitely not enchanted.
Don't get it twisted. He's not getting the goblet. He's getting the cup. There are 2 different drinking vessels in this fucking book, dude.
It's so unnecessary and ridiculous.
So
Wait, do you
fucking
think
stupid.
you could drink out of the cup though? Because is it like the NHL Stanley Cup where you can like, they still drink out of that? You
that
know, in
is big
celebration?
hockey energy. I don't know if a wizard.
My girlfriend would be very proud of me currently. True. Well, yeah. Well, we know no one's drinking out of the cup.
Right, because they would. What if someone just like takes a little sip and then gets fucking porky into a graveyard?
Yeah. It's like half full of like boxed wine.
It's just like Hagrid, like, yikes, I thought this was going to be a fun night. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, he needs it to cope with like his fight with Madame Maxine.
Aww. I hope everything's going okay. Well, whatever. They reunite in the next book. So Harry encounters a series of obstacles, but it's just not nearly as many as he'd expected. At first, how quiet it is kind of starts to like get to him. And honestly, before anything else, he encounters Cedric again, who has just escaped a blast-ended Scroot, and he looks like it. He is on fire.
Yeah.
The blast-ended Scroots. I mean, that's real fucked up, man. Everyone is on the verge of death. Stop. Why?
Well, and it's also fucked up because Cedric and Harry have both been receiving lessons about blast-ended Scroots all year, and I guess Fleur and Crumb haven't.
Oh,
so that's incredibly fucked up.
That's not
fair. But the lessons
Yeah.
have been just like
Bad.
take them for a walk. Although what if like
try not to die.
Yeah.
Stroke one of the openings. I don't know.
Uh
Wow, Leela.
I don't know which one.
That got into a territory that I didn't realize we were going.
Are you perhaps thinking about the Monster Book of Monsters?
Yeah.
The stroke the spine technique?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
When encountering wild magical beasts, just stroke them and see what happens.
Yeah. Great technique.
That's what Harry
it
should
works
have
with my
done.
cats. So next he runs into a Dementor. JK, it's a boggart. We know what to do with these.
Play some funny jazz music and do a lesson.
They actually have a dance battle.
Yes.
And then that's when the Dementor trips over his robes.
Yeah.
So relatable.
I wish there had been a fucking dance battle in this.
Can you
maze.
imagine? Maybe
Alleviate the tension a little bit.
Maybe that's what Cedric had to do. We don't know. We didn't see him do the tasks. Maybe he was dance battling with like a hinky punk or something. I need this fan art.
I love that. Next, Harry encounters a weird gold mist. And this is the one that I like always, this like really upset me when I was a kid. And it's the one that I always forget this. This weird gold mist. He tries to like blast it. It's not blastable. He's like, what do I do? But then he hears Fleur's screams up ahead. So he's like, I have to go save her because she's in distress. So he like runs right into the mist and it turns the whole world upside down and his glasses almost fall off. Oh, so much. Maybe that's why it freaked me out so much because I mean, you'd be done. You're done if the glasses go.
Yeah.
If my glasses fell off while I was running through a maze, I would simply just lie there and give up. My eyesight is that bad. I would just
Same.
Yeah.
Sean has always said that in an apocalypse situation, he will not be protecting me because I will not be able to see forever.
Yeah. I would just simply give up.
Done. Yeah, completely
You just
done.
do a full Velma, right? Where are
I
my
frequently
glasses?
actually do that.
I can't see without my glasses.
Do you know the phone trick? Sean recently taught me the phone trick. God, I would be fucking just walking into walls if Sean wasn't around. Do you know the phone trick?
No.
If you, like, for example, I knock my glasses off my nightstand all the time and then they're just like on the floor somewhere around my nightstand and I can't see. So I'm like feeling and I'm like, Sean, come help me find my glasses. But he told me that if you know where your phone is and you open the camera is near your face and it can see perfectly.
Ooh.
So like you can zoom in and like look around for your glasses through your camera.
Hey.
Velma is somewhere just like shaking in anger. Just like frustration.
Jinkies.
Exactly like that.
Sean's like, I'm going to develop this elaborate technology so that I don't have to help you as much. I'm sleeping over here.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, he just like walks out of it again and he's fine.
But he has to like summon the courage. He's like, if I take a step, would I like continue to fall like into the stars and forever? It actually kind of sounds like, you know, when you like green out or you have like a bad trip, that's what it feels like to me. Yeah. Like the only time I've ever like greened out like terribly felt like stuff had like flipped and then I had to
what does greened out mean?
Oh, when you like consume too much of the substance.
Oh, okay. I've just never heard that expression before.
Usually, yeah, like weed, and then you like you've had too much of it, and it's just like you're greening out.
With weed, you said?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
I definitely like have felt that kind of I'm falling into space feeling when I'm like rolling really hard and like and like also a lot of weed. It's just like I am like in a tunnel to the future.
One time I had too many edibles and it happened to me, and I like thought it felt like space had like flipped, and then somehow, I don't know, I got myself ready for bed and like fully like washed up and everything. I don't know how. And then like sat in my bed in the fetal position, and I thought like the world was ending. I had like convinced myself that like,
oh my God.
yeah. Anyways, greeting out, know the signs.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
It's not just a weird gold mist.
That would actually be like an interesting like strain name. Gold. Oh no, actually no.
Golden showers.
No. I take it back.
Oh, I do see. I Googled greening out. I just have never heard that before.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking donor. So then he meets a blast-ended scroot. It's 10 feet long. It's a big boy. And he manages to freeze it using an impediment spell.
Doesn't it like fuck up his leg though?
It fucks up his leg. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Or something. Or like, does it break it? Does it?
I think it just like twinges it, because then later after the spider encounter, he's like, and now it's sprained. Great.
Yeah.
And bleeding.
So maybe it's just a little like owie.
Aw.
My ankle hooded.
Also, I love how you say he meets a blasted scroot. That made me think like he like encountered it in the hedge maze and was like, oh, like, hello, like, my name's Harry, like, what's your name? Like,
well met, Mr. Scroot.
yeah, exactly.
Hello there.
And then they both just like bow to each other like hippogriffs do.
So then Harry hears Cedric yelling, what the hell do you think you're doing? Does it say hell?
Yes, it does.
Really?
I think I put it in quotes, and like my strategy with notes is I only put in quotes things that are actually quotes. Yeah, that's pretty. I think there's a couple dams in this book series too.
It's like Cedric.
Cedric's. What do you think he's saying? Do you think he encountered Crumb like standing over Fleur, or do you think he encountered Crumb like pointing his wand at Cedric?
I think maybe Cedric also went to go find Fleur.
Yeah,
like Harry's doing, and I like the first one that he's like, "What do you think you're doing?" So then Crumb turns on Cedric.
Yeah.
I mean, I said I like it. I don't like it, but you know what I mean.
No, it makes more sense to me instead of just like the two of them meeting in the maze and then Crumb is like under the Imperious Curse. Because that, like, why else would Cedric be like, "Wow, oh my God, like, what?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know, shadowy corners, a strange man like attacking this woman. Like, you don't know what's happening.
And Cedric's like,
"What the hell do you think you're
I'm
doing?
here
dude?
to save the day."
Oh, Cedric played the hero.
One last time. Okay.
No, his one last time is next chapter.
Teach me how to say goodbye.
Like that. He like holds his wand and says
he has
something.
a moment.
Yeah.
He has a moment. Okay. So Harry then uses he like can't get to Crumb and Cedric, so he uses Reducta to blast through the hedge, which like, wow, why don't you just blast on through that whole entire maze to get right to the center? But
True.
whatever. He sees Crumb and he's doing the old Crucio on Cedric. So Harry stupefies Crumb from behind. I do like the little addition in the movie where Crumb like turns on Harry and then like you see him like not. It's like a little hint. Crumb like turns his wand on Harry and then like doesn't do anything to him.
And his eyes are all like cloudy. And then he like looks at Harry and just like goes like,
"He's bewitched. He's bewitched, Cedric."
Oh yeah. That's like fully like made up dialogue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cedric, he's bewitched. It's like
Cedric's like, sorry, I'm a dumb idiot.
Yeah, I just remembered that. Wow, the movie and this chapter are actually like so different.
They're very different.
Kind of insane.
Very different.
Like the vines. I fully expected the vines to be in this chapter, and then they weren't.
Yeah. Fleur's not in this.
Oh, great. We don't even get to see her excel at anything.
We don't even get to see her die. She doesn't die, but she does get absorbed by the maze. Yeah, Harry and Cedric are like, what just happened? And then they send up red sparks over Crumb so that he will be fetched. So he's out. Fleur's probably also out. So then at this point, here's the thing. Here's what a true Hufflepuff would do. If I were Harry and Cedric in this moment, I would be like, let's go together.
Yeah.
At this point, I'd be like, we're going to win already. So like, let's go together now. But they don't. They split ways again. What do you guys think? Because the logic is sound that Hogwarts would win. And like, this was awkward the whole time. Like neither one of us was going to feel great winning.
I think like Harry's feeling pretty competitive. I don't know. I feel like he's still a little more competitive than that at this point. And
so frustrating.
They're also, it is frustrating because I agree with you too. I'd be like, let's just walk together. Like, anyway, what else?
Yeah, come on,
talk to me about what else you've seen in this crazy ass maze. Like,
and then Cedric probably would have been protected. Oh, wait. But if he had done that, all the stuff that would have like not attacked Harry, you know how like Moody like is making sure nothing attacks Harry?
Yes.
Yeah. So how would that work if like the two of them were just like, yeah, let's go.
Oh, you mean like if Moody had time to like see that this was happening?
Yeah.
Wow.
Harry's too competitive though right now. I agree. Like he probably was like, I could still win.
I mean, this whole time he's like envisioning himself with I just value almost nothing less than I value winning for winning's sake. Like he doesn't need the money, and he wasn't even supposed to be in this contest. Like I would not want to win if I was him. Like I don't value it at all. So like I have a hard time getting this.
I'm very competitive.
I'm really bad at stuff, so that's taught me to not be competitive over the years.
I love to win. I love a prize. I love like, you know, those like surveys that like, oh, if you like participate in the survey, you can like get a gift card, and it's like random draw. I still feel like I'm winning when I win one of those. And I'm like, ha, ha, ha. Like I won one like the other day and I was like, I won.
The only thing I've ever won in my life was fucking the Hamilton lottery when it came to town.
That is not insignificant though.
Because those tickets are front and center, bro.
God, yeah.
Like those are the best tickets I've ever had in my life. I got like spat upon. This was pre-COVID.
Wow. I would love to get spat upon by the cast of Hamilton, even now.
Yeah, and it was like you know, perhaps Hamilton was played by someone who isn't Lin-Manuel Miranda. So I could see his face. He was really doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have two younger brothers who have always been much better than me at everything. So I got real good at losing real early on. Shout out to Michael and Ryan.
I had to do like a lot of competitions and stuff as like growing up for music.
What kind of competition?
Music. Yeah. So like festival competitions and stuff like that. So you get instilled with a sense of competition.
Adele,
for sure.
Sorry, side note, I was just talking to Jason about this and we realized neither of us knew. What's like your main instrument?
Voice.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Yeah, vocal competitions are be intense.
Oh, and they're like, you see the same people every year, and like there's multiple
so it's
categories.
Like it's like in fucking Pitch Perfect when they all come to like the big showdown.
Kind of, yeah. And you're like, I recognize her from last year. Like she got silver, or like yeah. So it makes you like very competitive.
Yeah, but
I do remember how good it felt to be first chair flute in middle school band. But there's my little brag. But yeah, Harry's like, oh, I want the glory and the money I don't need.
And he wants Cho to smile at him as he holds the cup. Ooh.
Yes. So he carries on and he encounters the Sphinx, who is hot. I mean, you gotta admit, like, the Sphinx is hot.
I love the Sphinx. I'm just like picturing the Sphinx from Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yes.
So just like chef's kiss. Just everything about it.
Yeah. And y'all know I'm a cat person. Like, I love like cat energy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you live or die. My job is to make things hard for you.
Yeah. She gives no fucks.
So she's pacing in the path in front of him. And basically she has a riddle for him, and Harry can answer right and move on forward, answer wrong and she will attack and supposedly murder him, or he can simply back away unscathed without saying anything.
Yeah.
So she does the riddle, which, does anyone have it? Does anyone care to read it?
I have it.
Ooh, dramatic riddle reading.
Okay. What do we think the Sphinx sounds like? Let's see. Okay.
Do your cat voice, not a Pam or Penny voice. Do like a Cora voice.
Okay. First,
remember like the sorry. I was gonna give you more inspiration.
No, give it to me.
Like the sexy cat captain from Treasure Planet, but
Sexy.
she has an accent. She has an accent, so never mind.
Oh, okay. I'll do an accent.
no.
Think of the people. No.
Okay, all of the sexiness just left. It's gone.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
First, think of the person who lives in disguise, who deals in secrets and tells naught but lies. Next, tell me what's always the last thing to mend, the middle of middle and end of the end. And finally give me the sound often heard during the search for a hard-to-find word. Now string them together and answer me this. Which creature would you be unwilling to kiss?
I love
Ooh,
it.
Snap, 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 snaps.
When I read that, I was like, kiss. Dementor, that's what it is. I was wrong.
I love this. I love everything about Harry's interaction with this riddle. I love it so much because, okay, it's not a very hard riddle. I think we can all agree it's like it's not very hard, right?
As a kid, I couldn't do it because the is like a British thing that I like could not wrap my mind around as a kid.
What do you mean? I
Okay.
don't know this. I forgot what the answer was as I was rereading it. So what makes it easy again? Like, can you explain it to me?
Oh, I was like, well, the first part, like a person who deals in disguise and like hiding, I'm like a spy. You know, and then like the one about like the E. So the E, the end of like the middle of middle and the end of end. I've been playing, speaking of competitive, I play Wordle every day. And so like Wordle has really like made me think about like the structure of words and like how syllables and stuff like that. So like the middle of middle and the end of end.
A lot of those kinds of riddles are like about the word structure.
Yeah. And
I know that from listening to Hey Riddle Riddle a lot.
I mean, maybe I'm like oversimplifying the riddle because I do already know the answer.
I think the middle of middle and end of end and whatever the other thing is, I think that's pretty easy.
Something you wouldn't want to kiss. It's like, oh.
That could be anything. It's like you have to get the rest of it to get that.
You can cut this out, but can you explain what you mean by like, you know what the middle of middle and end of end means?
It's the D.
It's the letter D.
The letter D.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'm not cutting that out. And then, the spy, I don't remember as a kid if I was like,
spy,
I get it. Or like,
I was not. Clearly.
The thing confused me until I'm pretty sure like this year, someone was like, well, you know, like the British pronunciation is like a non-rhotic R at the end of words. So they're really just saying, like you do, but they spell it with an R. And I was like,
it might be
brain
because
explosion.
I'm also like a Commonwealth country, like just because of Canada, and like Canadian spelling is like the same as British spelling, but like we're a lot,
including
I like would feel a little bit more used to that. Like I remember as a kid being like like when I read that.
When I was a kid, this is definitely the only place I saw that I mean, you know, that I remember.
What is there's an in this riddle? What are you talking about?
So the one where it's like the last clue before it's the creature you're unwilling to. So in between the middle of middle to end to end, what's like, the next clue?
Now,
when you're thinking of something to say.
Now string them together and answer me this.
No, before that.
During the search for a hard to find word.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like like when you're looking for a word, you don't know what it is. You'd be like, but they're British, so they do
Oh, so that really like we wouldn't never know that as American children.
I don't think the American readers would have really guessed that part.
Got it.
But that's why he does it. He's like spy.
He struggles. He struggles with this riddle. Though.
But I love how at the beginning he's like, "Fuck! I wish I had Hermione."
Well, remember the riddle from the philosopher or the philosopher's / sorcerer's stone,
the potion riddle.
I don't think I would be able to get that. That riddle is like, I didn't
I probably
couldn't do
could have
that.
done it if I had like a piece of paper. I had like a non-franchise Harry Potter activity book that I was doing like over the summer or something, and they had like a figure out the potion riddle like game page.
Ooh.
And I like got stumped, and I had texted a picture and I sent it to the Discord, and I was like, am I wrong, or is there not enough information to solve this
I
puzzle? And
remember
people
you
were
telling
like,
me
no,
about
you're wrong. You're wrong.
God damn it.
So yeah, I definitely wouldn't get it either. Because that was for kids. I was trying to say children and kids, so I just said killed.
That's for kills. Speaking of kills.
Killed.
Let's kill some kids.
Oh god, that's
in the next chapter.
Yeah, that's next chapter. Harry, I don't know. I was laughing at him for these 2 pages, especially when like he's like spider, and then he's like, oh, spider, and then he like walked away, and then like the quote is like amazed at his own brilliance, and I'm like, okay, buddy, ride that high.
I really wish that they had made Daniel Radcliffe act this out against he would have had to do it against a green screen, or like, you know, he wouldn't have, the Sphinx wouldn't have been there. I just would love to have seen him like really try to make this happen.
Me too.
So he gets it right. It's a spider. And so the Sphinx moves out of the way and Harry carries on.
It's a clue to what happens next.
What?
The spider.
Oh yeah.
It's a clue.
I was like, a Sphinx happens next again.
No, I wish. No, it's a clue, which I only put together now. I was like, oh, a spider.
Yeah.
And then the spider happens, and I was like, oh, what?
Yeah. So Harry finally sees the Triwizard Cup up a ways in front of him on the path. He can see it like glimmering in the distance. And then before he does anything, Cedric is in front of him, racing toward it. And he's like, he's going to get there first, just like he got to Cho first, just like he does everything first. Yeah, because he's 3 years older than you. But then Cedric gets attacked by a giant spider, and Harry's like, oh, Cedric, giant spider. So Harry warns him. Cedric loses his wand. The spider picks up Harry. Harry hits it with a disarming spell, which makes it drop him, but it's not enough to like do anything else.
Fucks up his leg even more.
Fucks up his leg. I wrote that his leg definitely breaks underneath him, but in my book, it specifically says sprained. So his leg's only. But in the next chapter, his leg is like fucked.
Yeah.
Like I could walk on a sprained ankle if I had to.
Well, it's bleeding too because of
why?
Something. Something made it bleed.
Maybe the pincers.
The pincers.
When it got picked up. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
So then the two boys stupefy the giant spider together, and it goes down.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah.
So then they get into like a very silly, and like obviously if you do that, you're right here. Then you'd be like, "Yo, man, let's take it together."
Yeah, let's make out.
Like Harry wouldn't have.
Yes.
Harry wouldn't have said that. Harry was already losing, but like Cedric at that point should have been like, "Hey, man, let's take it together." But they need to fight about it first. Who should take the cup? Like Jesus fucking Christ, Harry, please just take it so Cedric doesn't have to.
Can you imagine? Okay, wait, this is the time. Alternate reality time. Harry's like, Cedric, you take it. Cedric, and in this reality, Cedric is like, okay, he takes it. He vanishes. What happens?
And he never comes back. They don't know what happens to him. His body's found like months later in this weird Muggle graveyard.
I guess Voldemort doesn't come back.
Wait, I'm adding this to our what if bonus episode we're doing.
Okay, so I will backtrack.
No, it's okay.
This
No,
is
it's
a what,
okay, it's
but this
okay.
is a what if. I was thinking that, and I was like,
What if Cedric took the cup?
Well, he would definitely be
by
like
himself.
Or do you think Pettigrew would have still killed him? Oh no, but we'll say he was gonna die anyways.
Because why not? Like, what else would they do with him? They're not going to be like, oh, hey, sorry, bud. Wrong guy. Take this poor key back. No big deal. Good. Congrats on winning the tournament.
Yeah, you won. You see Peter Pettigrew just like clapping awkwardly.
I have a question. So at one point, he, when they're like, but you helped me more. And then he's like, but you helped me more. Like, take it. And then he's like, but you helped me more. And then at this point, he goes, you should have got...
She's shimmying. Yeah. She's literally shimmying.
You should have got more points on the second task, said Cedric mulishly. Someone tell me what in the British fuck that means.
I saw that too.
Mulishly means stubborn. Stubborn as a donkey.
I love that.
As an ass.
I'm going to use that because it's said Cedric mulishly. Like,
What if you were drinking a Moscow mule, mulishly?
oh,
Whoa.
wow.
On a mule. What if you were on a mule but drinking a Moscow mule, mulishly?
Like spilling it all down your front.
Yeah.
That's definitely not a good place
Adverb
to drink a Moscow mule.
explosion.
Earlier in this book, Ron said something mulishly, and I think that's a very good word for Ron specifically.
Not really steady.
Yeah, I mean they are both being mulish AF right now. Finally, Harry proposes they just take the cup together. Good work, guys!
Yay, we did it.
Yay, teamwork.
It would still be a Hogwarts victory. Cedric helps Harry limp up to the cup. They grab it at the same time, and then they're whisked away. And I'm going to read
Oh, not the last line. No.
He and Cedric both grasped a handle. Instantly, Harry felt a jerk somewhere behind his navel. His feet had left the ground. He could not unclench the hand holding the Triwizard Cup. It was pulling him onwards in a howl of wind and swirling color. Cedric at his side.
No. And they probably thought, like, where are we going? Ooh, we're going to outside of the maze.
I just realized that pretty much this exact same plot point is happening in the D&D campaign that I'm playing, where we won a contest and then we got like whisked away, and the whole time we're in this like weird dungeon, we're like, is this part of the contest? Like, what are we doing?
Oh, poor little guys.
Cedric. I just love him so much. I just love a good guy. He's so good. He tries so hard to be so good.
And he has so much to live up to with his father having these like insane expectations, honestly, just like thrust on him. And
and all of Hufflepuff.
All of Hufflepuff. God damn it.
The legacy of Hufflepuff.
They never ever get their time in the sun.
Except that one time Cedric beat Harry at Quidditch.
Yep.
That's the only time.
That's still involved.
Amos Diggory, stop bringing it up. Woo!
Yeah.
So, Adele, is there anything that we missed in this chapter that you want to circle back to, or any like themes you want to drive home, or anything like that?
Just the fact that like earlier before we like started recording, really, we were talking a little bit like red herrings, and just I gotta say the Ludo Bagman red herring where they're like, oh yeah, Rita Skeeter's talking about him and like Winky's talking about him. As a kid, I was fully like, this man is suspicious. Mm-hmm. This man has done something. Mm-hmm. So I thought that like as like when I read it for the first time, I'm surprised he wasn't like more active in this chapter, but
I guess he just like didn't have time. Like, I don't know. We had to get down to business.
The goblin creditors.
Yeah.
Sigh.
Yeah. We don't have time to unpack all of that. Cool. Hell yeah. Leela, is there anything we missed in this chapter? Anything you want to underline or any themes you want to drive home?
No, I mean, I think just like I said, like I remember this chapter a lot, and I remember this in the next chapter so well. When I think of this series, like you're right. This is a real turning point. Like, I think this is really when it starts to stop being more of like a kid's book and really start getting very dark and serious. Yeah. And I think that it actually was a good thing for me as a reader, because at that point I really was not reading anything dark. And I mean, the darkest I would go was like Roald Dahl. That's for children, which is still still very dark, but in a different way. Mm. But
or like Series of Unfortunate Events was always like very fucked up to
but
me.
It wasn't like so bad after really getting into the dark side of Harry Potter, you know? So it really, I guess it just like it introduced me to like a new kind of reading.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. This book made me believe that I could read more adult books when I was a kid. And that's
you need that belief when you're getting through the next one.
No Order of the Phoenix slander. It's my favorite out of all of them. No slander.
Well, we will see you back on here for that.
Love Order of the Phoenix. I will.
Okay. I can't wait to hear your perspective, because it's always all I can remember about it is that it was the hardest one for me to get through.
It's hard. It's dark. It's emo. And we're going to crush it. Cool. Well, are you ready to move on to some plugs?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I would love to start by plugging our Patreon. As we mentioned earlier in the episode, for as little as $1 a month, you can join our Discord server, which is where me and Leila and Adele all hang out with our friends who are into similar interests in the other network podcasts. We also have a network book club, and we also do things like movie watch-alongs. Like I mentioned, we're going to do a Goblet of Fire watch-along. So the Discord server is how you can access that for $0.25 a week. You got it. Mm-hmm. You got it. Adele, where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah, I'm probably most active on Twitter these days and the Discord. If you see me there lurking or occasionally popping by, I'm there. My Twitter is Adele_Marilyn, and I tweet about a lot of stuff. I don't know, a lot of Harry Potter stuff and like weird history stuff because that's what I'm studying.
Awesome. And what have you been watching, reading, playing, listening to lately that you think the listeners of our podcast would enjoy?
Yeah, so I would like to plug this novella that I read recently that like I think has probably become one of my favorite pieces of prose that I've ever written or read. Ooh. Sorry.
I was like, you wrote it?
No. It's called This Is How You Lose the Time War, and it's co-written by Amal El-Matar and Max Gladstone. And it's pretty short. You can read it like pretty fast. And it's about, well, I'm not going to say too much about it, but time travel, future, potential romance, and just beautiful, beautiful prose. Like some of these sentences, like I have stuck with me since reading. And it was kind of like one of those novels that you, or stories that you read and then you finish it and then you like reread it to like put all the pieces together now that you have like a perspective on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Leela, where can people find you on the internet?
Hello, listeners. I have been Leela. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Leels for Reels. And you can listen to my voice on most Sunday nights on the Movie Night Crew, which is also on our pod network. And I am going to plug a book that Christina has not actually lent me. I found this one. Okay, full disclosure, I was with Christina shopping when I found this one, but I still was my own decision. It's called Within These Wicked Walls. By Lauren Blackwood, I believe. It's really cool. The protagonists are all Middle Eastern, like Northern African, and it's like this really cool, kind of like gothic Jane Eyre, like horror romance mystery novel, but that takes place like in this really cool, like deserty, rough and tumble kind of location, and it's really fun. It's not high. What is it? What's the difference of what's like high art for reading? It's not like
literary fiction.
Okay, so it's not like literary fiction. It's just like a fun
literary fiction.
It's a romp.
It's a fun romp. Like think like a little like Bridgerton, but like not quite as sexy. It's like Bridgerton, but not as sexy.
It's hard to be as sexy as Bridgerton.
Yeah. And it's just like fun. It's a fun new take on like magic, and Lauren Blackwood is a really bright new like voice. She's Black, and I love to support Black women authors, like especially if they're good. So Within These Wicked Walls, check it out.
Yeah, and just a brief shout out to
the bookstore
place where we were shopping. Yeah, it's a brand new bookstore here in Richmond, Virginia. So if you're in the area, please check it out. It's called The Book Bar, and it is in downtown Richmond. Their website says the Book Bar is a Black-owned, woman-owned bookstore that centers BIPOC authors and brands in effort to uplift and support a culture that is often silenced. And when Leela and I went in there, it was so beautiful. It was so cool. It was like kind of overwhelming to pick a book, because we both were like, we'll pick one book to support their launch, and there were just like so many cool options. Yeah. So Leela, will you be bringing that book to me? So I will.
I've lent it to my work wife, Lizzie. So that's why I don't have it
nice.
here right now. But as soon as she's done, I will give it to you for sure.
Hell yeah. I've been your host, Christina. You know where to find me. And this week I'm fucking plugging Infinity Train, which is a cartoon on HBO Max. It's a Cartoon Network cartoon. So if you have cable or whatever, you might be able to find it there. The show is recommended to me by Zach over on My Cabbages. He and I both have a very strong passion for incredibly well executed cartoons. Obviously, he's like an illustrator, so he has, I think, more of like an artistic appreciation. But yeah, he recommended this show to me, and we watched the first couple episodes when he was in town like a month ago. And it is just this really cool fantasy series. The episodes are only 11 minutes long. It's appropriate for children, but it is really, I mean, it's not for babies though, you know, it deals with some really mature themes, kind of the same way that Avatar: The Last Airbender does. I recommend it so much. There's 4 seasons, 11-minute episodes. It's really easy to watch, but it's like quite heavy and so saturated in meaning as well, and very visually cool. So I could not recommend Infinity Train anymore if you like cartoons as a medium. So please check that out if you have access to it. And if you don't, come to my house and I'll watch it with you. Adele, thank you so much for joining us today. It was such a pleasure to get you back on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always such a blast to like chat and sing little ditties and look at your beautiful, beautiful faces. And
yeah,
sorry to the listeners that they can't see our beautiful, beautiful faces.
They are beautiful.
Yes.
And I'm excited that you're so excited for Order of the Phoenix because I'm nervous. So
Okay.
I'm excited to get you back on for
I
it.
can be enthusiastic enough for like the whole show.
We need it. So yes,
we're gonna need friends to help us along the way.
Okay, I love it. Perfect.
And Leela, as always, thank you for being my co-pilot.
anytime, sunshine.
All right, gang, I gotta go finish reading Riddles in the Dark before this book starts thinking about how it might flip the world right upside down. Bye.
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 I literally recorded that joke before the great Oscars debacle, so you could say I'm a little bit of a visionary. You could say that I'm part comedy genius, part oracle. If you wanted to say that, you could. The Restricted section is a member of the Movie Night Crew Network, which features other amazing podcasts such as its namesake, The Movie Night Crew, which is an extra chaotic podcast featuring the gang just shooting the shit about whatever movie they just watched.
Alrighty.
It's movie night.
Grab your popcorn,
Grab your coffee,
Grab your friend.
grab a cat.
And let's go.
who directed this?
What year did it come out?
Is that girl from that show?
Who wrote this?
Where's the cat?
Who would you rather bang?
Pass the popcorn.
Does this pass the Bechdel test?
What about the Steve Buscemi test?
Does a woman literally speak in this movie?
Oh my god, a dog.
This reminds me of in Harry Potter when...
Are we recording?
What did the critics say?
It's a guilty pleasure.
What's your rating?
Can you be quiet?
Oh my god.
Movie Night Crew.
It's just like watching movies with your friends.
And then arguing about it after.
Every Sunday, wherever you get podcasts.
The Restricted section was created by me, Christina Kahn, based on the book series by J.K. Rowling. All music by Ryan Kahn. Logo by Michael Hardison. Support us on patreon.com/restricted section. For as little as $1 a month, you can gain access to our Discord community server, which is a really happy place to be. And there are other rewards as well, such as bonus episodes and Zoom happy hour hangouts. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Restricted Section Pod, on Twitter at Restricted Pod, and on Facebook at Restricted Section Pod. Also, feel free to shoot us an email at restrictedsectionpod@gmail.com to share your thoughts, feelings, complaints, conspiracy theories, or even lavish praise.
All right, one more thing about how men have ruined things for us, and then we should start.
That movie sucked.
I kind of liked it.
Movie Night Crew Network.